Hi, Mary. So monarchs, can you give us a little brief life history of the monarchs?
Sure. Monarchs are a large butterfly that people see often in their gardens, and it's really charismatic and colorful, and it has a unique life history too. It's a migrating butterfly, which there's a few that migrate, but what's really interesting about the monarch is it only migrates to Mexico every fourth generation.
Okay.
And that super generation, as we call it, lives maybe 4 to 6 months, where most of the ones that we see are only living a few weeks. So it's a really unique butterfly that unfortunately is in decline in the eastern United States. So what's really important, and I think we'll talk about it in just a minute, is how to attract them to your own backyard.
Okay. Why the decline, though?
Well, the decline is for a couple different reasons. One of it is a loss of overwintering habitat in central Mexico due to some illegal logging, which we can't do a lot about that. But what we can do is we're losing a lot of what the caterpillars eat, which is milkweed. And so we've lost a lot of that habitat. And also weather can really affect monarchs too. And so cold winters in Mexico and then during migration can affect them too. So those are the main reasons why the population has declined.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about the life cycle.
Okay. So the life cycle is pretty unique. One monarch butterfly can lay about 200 to 300 eggs.
Wow.
And what's really amazing about that too is they only lay 1 egg per leaf. So just one monarch needs a lot of milkweed to lay the eggs. A few days after they lay the eggs, they hatch and turn into a caterpillar. And that caterpillar, over about a 2 weeks time, is going to grow about 2,000 times its original size. And how they do that is they're going to be just eating away at milkweed. And so they go through about 5 stages, or 5 instars, which is the stage in between their molts. And they're just eating and getting bigger. And then after about 2 weeks, they're going to form what we call a J shape. So they're going to find either the underside of a leaf, or maybe even a pot, or under the eaves of your house. And they're going to form a chrysalis. And so a chrysalis is a little bit different than a cocoon. A cocoon is what a moth forms, and a chrysalis is what a butterfly forms.
How about that? That's so neat.
Yeah, so this is a newly formed chrysalis, just formed over the last couple of days. This is a Monarch Chrysalis. And what happens is they undergo a number of changes inside of this chrysalis. And after about 9 to 14 days, they're going to emerge as the adult butterfly.
9 to 14 days.
9 to 14 days. So the whole process from egg to adult butterfly usually takes about a month. So this is a really unique chrysalis too, as we were talking about earlier. Most of the chrysalis are really camouflaged, so they're going to be brown or look like a crinkled up leaf, whereas the monarch is a little bit different. It's this bright green, it's got some gold accent on it. And just really, to me, it looks like a really nice piece of jewelry.
Yeah, it does. It sure does.
So that, so they're just undergoing some changes inside there and turning into a butterfly.
Okay. Wow, it's a beautiful butterfly at that.
Yeah. Another really unique thing about the monarch is that you can actually tell the males from the females. And a lot of butterflies, there's not much of a difference, but in monarchs, you can tell the difference between the males and the females. And so males are going to have 2 scent pouches, which are here and here. The females do not have those scent pouches. So it's pretty neat. You can tell the difference between the males and the females just by those 2 black spots there.
And that's it?
That's it.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, both going to be about the same size. Both visit the same types of flowers, but just those 2 scent pouches are the difference.
Oh, okay. So how do we attract these wonderful butterflies to our garden?
I love talking about this because we've lost so much habitat. What we can do is we can plant things to attract them in our own backyards. The number one thing you want to plant if you want to attract monarchs is milkweed. And milkweed gets its name because if you pull a leaf off, it has kind of a milky sap that comes out. And that's actually really important for the caterpillar because it contains a toxin that makes the caterpillar taste really bad to predators like birds. And so that's what the monarch caterpillars are eating. And so we have a variety of different milkweeds here in the Mid-South that do really well. This one here that the caterpillar's on is common milkweed.
Okay.
And if you've got the space, this is a great one. It not only serves as a plant that the caterpillars eat, but the adult butterflies will also visit the plant whenever it's blooming.
Okay.
So common milkweed, it does get kind of tall. It can get about 5 to 6 feet, but it does get a nice ball, pinkish purple bloom on it. Another one, this is a non-native plant, but a lot of people like this one. It's a tropical milkweed. It grows really fast and it blooms throughout the summer. The one thing you may want to do is clip off the flowers in maybe late September, October, and that will keep the monarchs moving south during their migration. We also have a swamp milkweed, or rose milkweed, green antelope horn milkweed, butterfly weed. This is one that has the bright orange flowers. It's more low growing, maybe
Pretty
about
colors.
2 feet.
My goodness.
That's UT orange.
Yeah, UT orange. There you go.
In addition to the milkweeds are going to attract the females to lay their eggs as well as a nectar source. You want to look at some nectar sources, especially fall blooming ones that are going to get monarchs as they're migrating south.
Okay.
And so some things as they're first getting to Memphis, things like coreopsis, mistflower, yarrow, pickerel weed if you have a pond or a water feature. Those are great spring blooming ones. And then in the fall, you want to look at things like blazing star, bee balm, buttonbush. Those are all going to be nectar sources.
Goldenrod.
Yeah, goldenrod. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And the benefit to planting those too is you're not going to just attract monarchs, but you're going to attract a variety of different butterflies as well.
Okay. Wow. So growing conditions, full sun?
Yeah, most milkweeds are going to be full sun. So if you've got a nice sunny spot, some of them do okay in pots. I've grown the tropical in pots before, but a lot of them do great in the ground, and they're going to come back year after year.
Sure. So how many generations again?
Well, there's about 4 to 5 generations. It starts with the first generation that is migrating from Mexico to maybe the Texas coast, and then each subsequent generation moves a little bit further north until they get about to the Canadian border, which is the northern limit of milkweed.
Okay.
That 4th or 5th generation is a super generation, and that generation is going to migrate all the way down to central Mexico. Passing through Memphis, usually we peak in late September, early October.
All right, well, we appreciate the information again, but I do like super generation. I think that's pretty neat. Thanks again, Mary. Appreciate that.
Thank you.